Hi, I'm Andrew Drane, Principal of Harcourts Hills Living, and welcome to another edition of This is Hills Living. And today we're visiting Josh Mason, proprietor of Quoi restaurant, the beautiful Quoi restaurant right here in the heart of Norwest. Let's go and take a look. Quoi Dining is the finest destination for premium cuisine in the hills, and as the name implies, it's all about the dining experience and not just the eating. It's cosy yet exciting, with a sort of ambience that makes you want to stay for hours. Chef and proprietor Josh Mason produces one work of art after the other, day after day, to rave reviews, and the wine list is to die for. Let's go and take in the atmosphere while we chat to the man himself, Josh Mason. I love the wine, Josh. It's 10 in the morning. How much better does it get? Tell me about, to start with, your wine list. That's why I come here a lot, is because I love the wine. The food's good, don't get me wrong. I love your wine. Tell me why the wine here is so special.
Well, after learning from some of the top Michelin star restaurants, I discovered that the importance of matching alcohol with food is something that you can really enhance the experience. And after eating in so many different restaurants, whether Michelin star, hatted in Australia, I think a lot of the time the usual question is, what wine do we select? How do we select it? And do I trust that wine? You're paying your money for it, and you want something that you can sit back and sort of breathe easy and go, I know what I'm going to expect. So working with multiple different companies to find the correct wines that builds basically a list that's catered for everybody. It's what really makes us unique. So, you can come in here, you can see some big names on there, you know them, you understand those wines, you know where it comes from, and you can easily pay for those wines because you know what you're getting yourself into. So, learning about wine and the techniques, the environments, all around the world is something that I'm incredibly passionate about.
So should a good chef have a good knowledge of wine and food, not just one or the other?
Well, I definitely think that chefs should have a better knowledge, and if they don't, I recommend that pairing boutique alcohol with boutique food, it's an easy match. How nice is it to have a piece of Wagyu with a Barossa red? You can't interrupt that marriage. Yeah. So I think definitely it's important. So
Josh, speaking of good chefs, you're 24 years of age. You've studied under some of the best international chefs in the world at the best restaurants. You're now bringing that to the hills, which is why this is my favourite restaurant in the hills. Why did you start a restaurant here in Norwest in the hills?
Well, firstly, the hills is a great place. Plenty of families, plenty of good people up here, plenty of business. And I wanted to bring something to the hills that was unique and different, something that hasn't been completely tested and trialled here before. Yes, it's risky. I understand that, but knowing the type of people up here and knowing kind of what they want, I think it was definitely important to give a slice of something different. And I think that after 2 years almost now of trialling that, I think we've really hit something special. And I treat this little place as a little gold mine because a lot of the customers don't have to travel to the city. It's half an hour that way. It's parking. It's some type of transport to get there. It can be a fairly long and dubious night. So, we want to offer something that's local, something that's trendy, something that would say, you can get a city type of experience in the hills that's only 5 minutes from your house. So I think it's special in that sense.
Tell me about, you've earned the right to have a chef's hat.
Yes.
Tell us what that means.
Well, basically it's just an accolade to show that we have tried pretty hard. We're going to continue to try. And we've impressed some people who have given us an award to say, hey, there's a token of our appreciation for what you do. Do we want to do better? Of course we do. Do we want to enter the other hat awards and whatnot? Yes, we do as well. But our main focus is the locals of the hills. I don't go to sleep at night thinking, tomorrow morning, am I going to get a hat from somewhere else? Or am I going to get a second hat? My most important thing is the people who support us, and making sure that we continue to grow and strive in the area. So I think, if you kind of focus on your core clientele and your customers, everything else will follow after that. And that's what I truly believe in, is that my core customers will continue to follow me. They will tell their friends about, the unique experience they have here, and the voice will grow, and, the crowd will grow, and, and then eventually we'll be awarded with these other awards that come along with it.
So mate, you're open for lunch and dinner. We've all seen what you do because you work in this big open kitchen here. We can see how intense it can be. You've got to juggle that with trying to, provide the best food, the best service to customers. How do you pull that off?
Well, obviously within a time frame as well that customers
And within a
are
time frame, that's right.
happy with.
Because customers are demanding, right?
Of course they are. You know, they want a product, they want it on time, and they want it to be perfect. You know, it's up to us to ensure that our product is in line with our branding. We need to make sure that what you pay for is what you get. That's at the best of our ability. The thing that I love about having an open kitchen is that it satisfies that curiosity. You appreciate what we do, because usually we're quite busy. A lot of the time kitchens are behind closed doors. You don't know what's going on behind there. You can just have a glance over in the kitchen. You can see the chefs are busy, they're working away. And in a sense, you appreciate that. You know your food is coming, you know that's happening. You can see the chefs, you know, working on the food with their tweezers, or they're picking their flowers, or the baby herbs. So, you know, keeping consistent with our food also comes down to our suppliers, making sure that our produce is in check, which, you know, I regularly check. But our chefs working on the food is something that they're more passionate about. You know, they want to serve something that they're proud of, and we want to have a good result from a customer's emotions and the way that they feel on the table. They want to see something and go, wow, that's incredible. So,
how do you keep the consistency? How many chefs do you have here?
We have 6.
Okay, so how do you, you're the head chef, obviously.
Correct.
How do you keep the consistency? Because everyone wants your product. They want what you can produce.
It always comes down to training. Mentoring, you know, effective leading and mentoring, effective managing. So I always say in my kitchen that if you can lead and motivate, then the managing part's usually quite easy, because it's about that motivation that comes with passion, dedication. So, you know, if I can lead the team properly, they're pretty easy to motivate, then it should be relatively easy to sit back and kind of manage what's going on. Yeah. So that's the most important thing here in the kitchen.
So how do you train them? I mean, you train them on the job. Obviously, your best training was on the job?
Correct. Usually with cooking it is, you know, you learn your skills by doing your skills. Yeah. So yes, it's good to go on YouTube and look at bits and pieces, but by actually getting your hands dirty, and that's why we have the masterclass once a month here at Quoi. Yeah. So the masterclass is an opportunity to see the way the chefs do it on a Sunday afternoon and have a few glasses of wine and sort of hang out with me and chat about food, all things wine and food, which is a great opportunity. But, you know,
is that for adults and kids or just kids?
We do kids during school holidays. Yeah. So, you know, I will take your kids off you for 4 hours, which, you know, can be painful for me, but usually they're well behaved. And adults, usually every couple of months on a Sunday, we'll do an adult cooking class, which is also a lot of fun. We just did the seafood masterclass not long ago, and we had a fantastic time. So a great way for locals to come in, you know, upskill on what they already know, but, you know, to add another element to their food, and, you know, and have me to share a little bit more of my experience. So, yeah, good fun.
So, Josh, with this amazing atmosphere, unbelievable food and wine, you've got the open kitchen, you're giving customers what they want. How important is that to you, that the customer actually gets what they want?
Well, it's important to a level that I can understand the customer and understand what their wants and needs are. You know, it's not really about exactly what I want. It's about what the customers want. They're supporting me, and I'm supporting them with what they want. So, you know, I create and tailor a menu, like the wine menu, that's for everyone. There's flavors for everyone. There's different there's proteins for everyone. The portions are generous, and the flavors are generous too. So, and we try to do that in the most modern way we possibly can. So it's really important that the flavors, the proteins, the textures on there are proven amongst many customers. It's not just to my taste, because, you know, food and wine and whatever, it's all very subjective. You know, you like something, I don't. So how do I meet it in the middle? How do I create a flavor that's you're gonna like and I'm gonna like, and so is 10 others? So it's actually fairly difficult, but I think we're getting there quite well. So, you know, we're able to tailor for everyone.
Okay, so you're not going to keep everyone happy, Josh, obviously. How do you handle disgruntled customers? Because I find it difficult to find anything on the menu, and I've pretty much had it all, that isn't fantastic, but not everyone's going to be happy. How do you handle situations like that?
Well, things always go wrong. You're a businessman. You know things go wrong. Things don't always add up, and yes, you're going to have unhappy customers. You can't physically please everyone. Do we try? Yes, we do. Do we get some returns? Yes, we do. But the best thing that we can do is make sure that we offer everything we possibly can to turn that situation around. I don't grow the produce. I try to manage it the best I can, but if the produce is delivered to a table where maybe it's not up to your standard, I want to change that. I want to change the way you think of that, and I want you to leave full, and I want you to leave happy. And obviously with a couple of glasses of wine in you as well.
Mate, how do you attract customers? I would imagine that word of mouth is really important for you. Tell me how you get customers in the restaurant and fill these seats up every night.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because when we initially opened, we did not market the restaurant at all. I decided one night that we were ready. I looked at my team and said, we're ready to go. We opened the doors, and within a fortnight, the place somehow was pumping. And I haven't looked back after 2 years. But we do heavy social media marketing. A lot of our customers would see that we do put flyers, into all the local houses, and we do offer a special. During the midweek, you can come and get a 5-course degustation for $69, which I think is incredible value. So we do, we offer $69. So we do offer, a lot of different things to be able to attract our locals to come in. That doesn't hurt the bank too much, but them to come in and have something special with their special one or their family. But I think it's important. Social media is such a big influence these days. It's something that you can't get away from. So we've learned to adapt to social media, and we're quite good at it. I'd like to say that our Facebook and Instagram is current. It's almost daily. We have a post up or an event. We upload events every day. We've got Langmel Wine Dinner, Brokenwood Wine Dinner, Yalumba, John Duval.
Are you managing social media yourself, or is someone doing it for you?
So we currently do it ourselves. So we were getting someone, and we learnt how to do it, and we thought that by us managing it, we can manage our content, we can manage what we say, we don't have to get approvals. So we've kind of learnt along the way that it's actually more effective for us, also cost effective for us to do it ourselves. And it takes, good photographers and good content, and really sitting down on a table with, the people within the business, like my business partner, and saying, hey, what do we want to offer and how can we offer it the best way possible? And going from there.
Josh, tell me what running a good business means to you and what absolutely needs to be taken care of.
Couple of things, and I think this will apply to every business on this planet, is that having key staff, key personnel that will represent yourself like how you represent yourself. So I think that's really important, having people you can trust, that you can rely on. If something was to happen when you're not on site, to tackle those issues, you want them to step in and do what you do and diffuse it, or to sort of enhance the experience. So it's really important that the key staff that you have in your business will continue their good work when you're not here. I also find that the product is always important. Make sure that your product is in line of what your business concept is. Never ever steer off that. If I'm doing French modern Australian here, I don't start doing Japanese. I don't want to confuse my customer. My customer know what they're going to come and get, and I want to deliver exactly what they perceived value of what they think they're going to get. So really,
what do you think your point of difference is then as a business?
Our point of difference is that, number one, we're boutique. We're small production. We have a very quality style driven menu, and we want to provide the best meat in the hills as well. Our proteins are lovely, our Wagyu, our steak, our fish is all Australian, everything is local. And we want to be able to continue to develop an Australian style menu using French techniques. I don't think French is done in the hills at the moment. So at the moment we kind of have our little niche corner over there saying, hey, this is our 10-course degustation, it's special, and here's our little French-inspired a la carte menu as well with a top wine list. So you should be able to cover all grounds there.
Good. And going back to talking about staff, in business, I've learnt that it's not just using an analogy I use all the time, not just having the right people on the bus, but it's the right mix of people. From a business level, what's your mix like?
I'm very fortunate in this business to have a lot of young people here. A lot of young people who are striving for excellence. A lot of young people who have a lot of energy, who are passionate. A lot of young people that I can help mentor them to get to the next step. I'm a young person, maybe in an old sort of mind frame, but I grew up in business. My family was in business, and I was able to learn that very early, sort of the grounds of what business entails. So I think the most important thing is having a healthy mix. Making sure that everyone understands each other, that everyone can meet each other's needs, and that no one's dropping the ball. Because when someone drops the ball, someone has to cover it. So it's really important that everyone is well skilled and everyone is fair and equal, which is, I think, is most important in any type of business.
One thing that I love coming here for is the chatty sort of relationship we have, your staff, You always make the effort to come out, spend time with me. Not just to upsell wine, by the way, but for just to have a good conversation. Mate, how important is it that your customers can relate to the staff and to you?
Well, first of all, Mr. Drane, you have very expensive taste. But it's important to meet all my locals, to meet my customers, to know who is sitting in our restaurant. I want to get to know you. I want to know where you're from. I want to know if you have a local business. I want to learn about your family dynamics. And I think it's really important to create that relationship. I think a lot of people in the hills, they trust me. They know that if they come here, they're going to have an experience that they're after. It's on the tip of their tongue. So it's about building that trust. And I've been able to gain a lot of friends out of that. Heaps of friends. Some of them we play tennis every second week. Some of them we go to the city, and go out for dinners. So by creating those close relationships, it's actually been able to create away from Quoi an even better relationship. So I'm very thankful for that, for all those people who do support me, support the business, who support all my staff here as well. I'm very thankful that outside of that we have a very close relationship. So it's really important.
It is, and it's difficult to separate business from personal. I mean, I've had that challenge on myself in the past. You get very close to customers, but at the end of the day, you still have a business to run.
Of course.
But what I love about coming here is it feels like that even though, you're getting to know me, and that's a very smart marketing outcome for you as well, you're very genuine the way you do it, and your staff are as well. I do feel comfortable coming here, and I can actually say to you, look, this is what you want tonight, just give us what you've got and look after us. You bring out the best of everything for us and make sure we have, the most pleasurable dining experience that we could possibly have.
Definitely. I think it's so important to connect. Connection around everywhere in your life is so important. And I think connecting to your customers who are supporting you is showing them the level of respect as well. They've decided to come to this restaurant. They've made a decision, they've rung up, they've made a booking, they've sent a text to me personally and said, hey, I want a table. And it'd be foolish for me not to deliver. I'm thankful enough and humbled enough that you've chosen to come here.
Josh, big question. Do you think it's important to enjoy what you do in business?
Definitely. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. I think it's such a corny thing to say, but everyone says it. What gets you up in the morning and, what gets you out the door? If something is in the morning that's difficult to get out of the door, then you're possibly not doing the right thing. Yes, things are hard. They can be hard. Things can always be better. But I think everyone's kind of within their control to make change, to do something they love and to carry on with their lives. And I think it's very important that if you're not passionate or dedicated to your job or your role, then you need to go and find what you do, because purpose is so important.
I was going to put you in the spot there and ask you about purpose, because something I believe in, and defining one's purpose is really, really complicated. It's taken me 45, 46 years to actually work out what it is. I jump out of bed in the morning.
Could be cooking Wagyu steaks, you never know.
Mate, it's part of it. Eating Wagyu steaks is probably part of my purpose. Look, and I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but do you know what your purpose is in life?
My purpose, I am 24, so I think that on the younger end of my life, I have found my purpose to this day, which is being creative and artistic and serving customers. That is my purpose, and through that is my passion, which is my cooking. So my purpose today is I always had a dream to own my own restaurant. My dream has now expanded. My dream is now bigger than what it was, because now I've owned a business. I know what it entails. So I think my purpose is ever going. I'll continue to find my purpose all the time, but my dedication and passion at the moment is fueling my purpose, if that makes sense.
And your purpose is fueling your vision, because you're growing. Correct. You've got the second restaurant opening in Borkham Hills shortly.
Yes.
And you're going to expand from there. So your vision, which keeps all the people that are working around you excited, is fueled by your purpose in life.
Exactly.
Mate, it must be daunting when you look at how restaurants are rated by the fussy critics of the world. And again, you're never going to get good ratings, but how do you, or reviews, how do you compensate for that? How do you deal with those sort of people?
You have to remember that these people, critics and reviewers and bloggers, typically they come from a very experienced dining sort of background. They've been to the best, they've been to the lowest, they've been to the middle. So a lot of their criteria is based on the best. They rate from the best and go down. We try to meet somewhere in the middle. We don't try to be overly formal, but we want to give a good sense of quality and a good sense of service as well. We deal with it in a way where it's not our primary focus. Our primary focus is our locals and our customers. But we always know that at any time, a unmarked critic can come in here and score us. So we always need to be a little bit on our toes, but we don't want to overwhelm ourselves, and put this unnecessary pressure because, as you would know, and maybe others, that the chef industry at the moment is an industry that's quite been bruised and battered. It's really important that we sort of mentor and cherish what we have left in the industry, because there's a lot of, you could say, organisations out there who are caring for chefs who are depressed or, who are on the other end of suicidal. So it is a bit difficult, and these pressures are the things that are making chefs maybe turn or going to the wrong sort of path. Yeah. And we want to make sure that at Quoi that we don't put too much pressure. We don't, I don't get my chefs on a sort of on a level where they are feeling overstressed or they're not well rested. They all get great time off. They all got a great work-life balance, and they all get 3 days off a week. My chefs, I think it's very important. But when they are here, they're committed and they've found their purpose. They're here, they're working. But I think it's very important to limit a little bit of that expectation and work on the consistency. If you can be consistent, success will come afterwards.
It's funny, for me, it's about service. If the food's, I'm not saying yours is average, but the food's above average to great, but the service is really, really good, I'm happy. If I went to one of the 300 restaurants in the city and the service was crap, I don't care how good the food is, that's ruined my night. And that's important to me. And I was going to ask you another question. Do you think the advent of these cooking shows, have you seen a change in customer perception to food? You get people coming here and sniff their food before they eat it, and are they more critical because they're watching MKR or one of those shows on TV?
Well, it's convenient. It's easy to watch and it's easy to learn by watching TV. People these days, the expectation is higher. They've seen it on TV. They've seen, certain skills being done. They've seen chocolate tempering or sugar work and all this stuff on TV. So when they come out, it feels like they've already done it, but they've just watched it. Yeah. So it's up to us to keep innovative. It's up to us to keep trendy, and that's what we want to continue to do. So when people do come here, they're surprised. Yeah. They're happy.
Mate, what about bigger macro issues like the economy? How's it affected your business, and how do you compensate for changes in the economy?
So I think first thing is to identify in the business what we can do to offer other things that are a little bit cheaper, a little bit more cheerful. We all know a lot of businesses are going through a bit of a difficult patch. We've been hit with a lot. An election, Royal Commission, housing market. We've been hit by a lot, and we're in a business park, so we see it, we hear it, we talk about it. So we know what's going on, and it's up to us to adjust menus to make it more affordable. The $69 menu during the midweek is something that it's affordable. We do a lunch special here, so you can come and get a steak frit for $25, $26. So we do offer cheaper alternatives.
But you don't compromise on service, right? So
Definitely not. We're giving you Black Angus eye fillet, with pommes puree for $26. Which, steak and frit with a strip loin and fries as well, $26. So for lunch, we do offer that. We offer cheaper alternatives. It's outside of our control, the economy. I can't control it, but can I manipulate my business to ensure that it follows the trend of the economy so people can feel more comfortable being here? It's quite a daunting task always going to a fine restaurant. You want to go, but you don't have the allowance for it. So we want to make sure that we have that allowance. We can get people in here still, make them happy, and get them out when they haven't broke the bank.
Do you have definite trends? Like in the housing market, we know that spring comes and buyers come out of the woodwork, and we're going to get more people at open homes. We know that. In the restaurant industry, in Norwest, little local economy here, or a sort of a micro economy, how do you predict trends, or can you predict trends?
Not really. I think for us it's quite difficult. We are a local business, and every single week we will wake up on a Tuesday morning and look at our bookings, and those bookings vastly change by Friday, Saturday. Vastly change. It could be even a fortnight. We have a fortnight sort of roster in a sense where, we may look at a week and go, oh, things are not looking that great. But by Wednesday and Thursday, things have completely picked up. So I guess the market is sort of confused. They're not really sure what's going on. We've lost a lot of sort of managing directors and directors at the moment who don't have the allowance to spend that type of money, but we've picked up a busier night trade. So our dinners are busier, and our lunches will come back as the summer months come through and the spring comes through, as the economy sort of turns a little bit more. So, it is winter. We have to say that this is the downtime of hospitality, and I think at the end of the day, we're doing a great job with maintaining a good level of customers coming in every week.
So Josh, I come here for the awesome food and obviously the wine. What do you find are the main dishes or the main dish that people come here for? What do they crave?
So there's definitely a couple of things on our menu that I can't take off. I would love to change them and update them, but it's just unfortunately one of those things that people always keep coming back for. It's like the talk of the town that you need to go there and try Quoi steak tartare. It's something that I've been developing for many, many years, and I think we've got it down to a fine tea. It's the perfect balance of acidity, a little bit of hotness in it, a perfect crunch, and premium eye fillet, which is all hand cut to order. Among that, we have the truffle risotto, which is something that we can't take off the menu. And always, I think, which is your favourite, is our wonderful Wagyu that we always have on offer. I think our Wagyu would probably be some of the best steaks in the hills, and we want to make sure that we dry age it correctly and we grill it correctly. And it's a really simple dish. It's a piece of Wagyu on a plate, but I could almost guarantee that Wagyu is something special. It's something that you're really going to enjoy. So they're probably our three things that haven't moved off our menu for almost 2 years now. And if they did come off, I think we'd probably lose a lot of bookings, or the phone might be ringing.
I agree. And look, I'm not going to ask you to prepare me an aged Wagyu, but what if we get a steak tartare going?
Of course.
Can we do it?
Yes, we can.
Let's bring it on.
Would you like to plate it with me, Mr. Drane?
I'll give it a go. Let's do it, please. Bring it on.
The taste tester. I know you've got a fairly refined taste, and you've got a little bit of a Bordeaux 2012 here too, which is
nice.
lovely.
Well, cheers, mate. Thanks again for your time today.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. Let's get that steak tartare going.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is what we've learned from Josh. Number one is provide your customers with value for money and they will come back. Secondly, use observation and intuition so you can start with what the customer wants and simply work back from there. Number three, it's the overall experience that matters, not just the food. Give them coziness, give them excitement, and give them a great gustatory experience. And lastly, always strive for total excellence from seating to eating. I'm Andrew Drane from Harcourts Hills Living. That was Josh Mason of Quoi Dining. And thanks for joining me again on another episode of This is Hills Living. In our next episode, we'll be talking to Stephanie Savage, the owner of Impulse Travel. I'll see you then.